Okay, gals, guys, good morning. Back in triceps, I apologize for the background noise. They're working on the roof. We're going to start off on the hands and knees for a moment. And I want to show you a new stretch that I've been going over this week. That is for, this stretch is going to be for your lats, pecs and lats. And it's also going to address your neck. So let's start off on the floor, hands and knees, and just start flushing forward and back. Let's go through your flush. For some people in this group session, they've done their stretches and their standing core, and some people haven't. So I always want to give a little bit of lead in and progression. Now remember that when you're in this hands and knees position, your knees are slightly wider than your hip sockets and your feet are wider than that. You are rounding the back, tucking the hips, dropping the face, trying to push the spine up to the ceiling as much as you can. Drive that spine up to the ceiling. Now, if you want a little bit more back decompression, you're going to push your knees together against the floor. You can internally rotate the knees and even push them through the floor. That gives you more decompression to that lumbar spine. Let's turn your hands diagonally and go a few diagonal. That's going to get the flank of the body, the flank of that, if you're going to the left, it's your right side. When you go to the right, it's your left side of the body. Okay, let's go into your tricep prayer pose. So you scoot your buns back, your hands are forward, hands together, drop the face, bend your elbows, straighten your elbows. Keep doing that action, bending and straightening the elbows. Try to narrow your elbows, not make them too wide. Now stay at the top with your hands and open the hands, separate your hands and close the hands. Separate the hands and close the hands. Keep going like that. You should feel that across your upper back between your blades. You might also feel it in the shoulders. Now I'm going to hold my hands open. Now, if you can't do that, if you can't keep your hands separated, you can use your own fingers to spot yourself. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up my face and then bring my face back down. Lift up the face, bring the face back down. Lift up the face, bring it back down. One more time. Stay up, rotate your face one way, rotate your face the other way. Bring your head back down, hands forward, lay your head down. Now go ahead and rotate your right ear to your right shoulder, and then switch your left ear to your left shoulder. You're just rotating that head and that face. Lay your left ear on the left shoulder, right ear on the right shoulder. Couple more. Now try to lengthen the back of your neck when you do that. Tuck your chin and lengthen the back of your neck when you do that. Okay, stop there. Come up to the hands and knees and shrug your shoulders. Breathe. This is the new exercise now. That was all stuff that we've learned before. What we're going to do is I'm going to have you, here's on in the hands and knees position, my shoulder over the hands and my hips over the knees. I want you to scoot back a little bit, but not all the way. So a little bit back. Bring your left hand forward. Spread your fingers on your left hand. Left hand is forward. Okay, so I'm learning to do this. This is something I just made up. I was going too far back in the hips. Come forward a little bit. The head, so your left hand is forward. Your right hand is on the back of your head, and you're pulling your head towards your belly button. And then come on up. So you want to use your hand to pull your head, curl your head towards your belly button. Keep pulling. Obviously, you listen to your body, and then you hold that for about 10 seconds. And then come on up and switch sides. Other hand, spread the fingers. shift back a bit. My hips are about over the knees. Then I'm going to take my left hand behind my head, curl my head to my belly button, and come on out of that and shrug the shoulders. So that is a really great, it's sort of like the high pec stretch, really great pec and shoulders. Okay, let's go ahead and stand up. We're gonna go into a very simple circuit, which is going to be 1.5 legged squats and band rows. And I'm going to, if you guys have a dowel, I'm gonna suggest you get a dowel for the band rows. If you don't need that. It's not absolutely necessary. I'd like to have a dowel or a broomstick because I'd like to do a shoulder stretch today with it. But we're gonna start off 1.5 leg squat matrix. My right leg is the working leg. My right foot is straight. I'm medium stance, toe touching my left, and I'm gonna squat down and up. Now, just because we just started, you don't have to go very deep. Wake up those parts, allow the heat to develop, allow the juices to flow, the nutrients to be delivered. We're gonna go 3, 2, and I'm gonna switch legs, medium stance. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna do 3 sets. We're gonna do back rows, we're gonna do 1.5 legged squats. The first set of squats, I'm gonna do 10, 10, and 10. But on the second set of squats, I'm gonna do 20 and 10. You'll see what I mean. One more time. Okay, switch legs, now I'm gonna go wide. So in this first round of squats, I keep switching legs at the 10s. In the second round, we're gonna do 20 on one leg. And in the third round, we're gonna do 30 on one leg. So it's gonna get a little harder. One more time, I'm not counting. Okay, switch, 5 and 5 and 4. This is just a little game I play in my head. I don't like to get to big numbers. Okay, I'm gonna do 4 more. I've lost count already. 2 more. Last one. Okay, switch legs. Now this one, so we've gone medium, we've gone wide. The next position is a cross position, but that's really challenging. So you can go from any place from across to about forward, and then sit back into it. You want to sit back into that heel. Notice how much my torso is bending to help me counterbalance. Let's go 5. Hands out wide if you want. 4. Grab with the toes or push the straight toes down. One more time. And stop and breathe. That one is a lot of ankle flexibility. So the tighter your ankle is, the harder that's going to be. I have a screw, a pin in my right ankle. And boy, it's so much harder on that side because I just can't bend the ankle quite as much. 4 more. 2 more. Grab with the toes, sit into the heel. Okay, move that right and left. So that was 10 reps in each different positions. Circle. Change directions. Now let's grab your dowel. If you have one, you're gonna put that in your handles of your band. Most of you have your bands at doorknob level. If you don't, if you have options, this is gonna be chest to doorknob level. I'm gonna take my bands and make them wider than my shoulders. My palms are facing down. Now, if you don't have a dowel, you're gonna hold the handle of the band, palm facing down, okay? Let's see this. Okay. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and row. So when I'm using the dowel, one of the differences is that my hands are wide and my palms are facing down. I'm coming pretty high up with that dowel. The dowel is hitting me about 2 inches, 3 inches below my collarbone. Switch feet. Your elbows are high in line with that dowel or with the hands. So I've got high elbows. When we do band rows, a lot of times our elbows are low and stuck to our side. So this is definitely different. Now I'm gonna alternate feet. When the elbows are high, it gets a little bit higher line on the back. And 3, 3. Last one on each. Very good. Okay, bring that down. Let that go. Shake out the arms. Now we're going to go into our 1.5 legged squats. We're going to stay on one side for 20 reps this time. Let's go start with your right leg. The left leg is medium stance. So as our bodies are waking up, I'm going to up the ante a little bit. Okay, I've got 5 more on the count. 5, I'm sitting back into the heel. I'm letting my torso bend over the thigh. Couple more. I'm going to take that left leg forward now. Forward. And I'm sitting back into that heel. 5 more. It's burning for me. Last 3. Here's the last one. Okay, now shake that out. We're going to switch sides. We're going to go medium stance. So the muscles will burn if they don't have a lot of resources in them. And as you run out of resources like oxygen, for example, you change into a different type of energy metabolism, and that creates acid. And that's part of what the burn is. One more time. Other foot forward. Your swing leg is forward. Put your hands wherever you want for balance. So if you do your prep ahead of time, your muscles are going to be resourced better, and you're not going to feel as uncomfortable in the beginning sets. Good. Okay. Stop and rest. We're going to switch legs. I'm going to take the other leg back. I'm on the tip of my toes, and I'm going to go pretty deep. Notice how my torso is bending over that thigh. I'm not on the ball of my back foot because that allows me to help and use that leg too much, and I don't want that. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, switch. Bending over. You're on the back tippy toe. Tip of your toes. Good. Go nice and deep if you can. 5 more. Breathe. Last one. Nice. Okay, move it around. Let's have everybody grab their mat or a pad. We're going to do a quick quad stretch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my foot up on this little feet up. It could be a couch, a chair, the wall, a kitchen stool, or nothing. So I'm going to take one foot, put it back, knee is down on a pad. You always want a pad. If you have the ability to hold on to something, it is better. You're going to rock forward and back. If you don't have something to hold on to, a chair, a couch, the bed, and put your hands on that front thigh. Whatever leg is back, take that arm up and release, and up and release. Bringing that arm up is going to get a little higher in the stretch. Now hold that arm up, pick your shoulder up off the rib cage, stretch those ribs, tuck that hip, and lean back. Lean back, 5 seconds, tuck the hip. Try and tighten that butt. 3, 2, and rest. Good job. Switch sides. Come on down. Again, if you have something to hold on to, it's better. If not, hold on to that front thigh. Rocking forward. Now your back heel should be in line with that butt bone, okay? A lot of times that back heel is more centered, more towards the middle, more towards your sacrum. You want it centered. Okay, take that arm up. Stretch the shoulder off the rib cage. That's usually opposite of what I'm telling you to do. I mean, that is opposite of what I usually tell you to do. Good. Now I'm gonna tuck my hips and I'm gonna lean back at the torso. Reach up, tuck that hip, tighten that butt. When you tighten the butt, you're gonna feel the quad more. And come on down, good, breathe. Okay, grab your bands. If you have a dowel, you've got the dowel, you got wide hands, palms down. Let's go ahead and alternate your feet right from the gate. So I'm gonna pull. Remember, on a row, one of your goals is to move your shoulder blades in the maximum range you can. So half of that picture is pulling your shoulder blades back and together. But the other half of that picture is letting them come forward and apart. The more they come forward and apart, the more they have to travel together. So you're getting more of that muscle, you're recruiting more of that back muscle. Just like on chest yesterday, I had said, stretch the chest open to grab more of the pecs. So it's the opposite on this. Keep your right foot back and let's go for 5. Elbows are high in line with the shoulders. Separate your blades, squeeze the blades. One more time. Switch feet for 5. Squeeze those blades. Push your sternum forward as you pull your blades back. Don't rocket the torso. One more time. Okay, so let me show you what I mean there. What I see sometimes on this is I see people rocking their torso. That is not bad. It's going to work lower back, but it's not going to work as much upper back. So I want you to keep your torso fixed, and it's almost like you're moving your torso forward as you pull your shoulder blades back. That's going to give you a little bit more. Okay, back to 1.5 legs. This third round, we've got 30 reps on one side. We're starting with the right leg. We're going to go down and up, medium stance. Super simple little circuit here. Doing 2 exercises back to back, and it's very vigorous. 4 more. So you guys, if you're off on vacation, if you're at work, if you want to get a workout, okay, let's take that left foot and turn it in. My hip is turning into the working thigh. So this is internal rotation. Sit back into that right heel. Let your torso come over the thigh. Try not to let that working heel come up. 3 and 2 and 1. Here's our final 10. Turn out. Lean into that thigh. Good. So if you want to make a vigorous workout, you take less exercises and you combine them. So 2 or 3, and you just keep going back to back. It's really a great way to get a lot done. It has a lot of different benefits. Okay, shake that out. I think that was 10. Medium stance, other foot, up and down. Sitting back into it. Is your heel staying down on the working leg? Bend over your thigh with your torso. Good. That's going to get core. That's going to get butt. It's going to get thigh. 2 more. Now I'm going to take my right leg and turn my right leg, my right hip into the left. And I'm sitting back into that left heel. I'm not letting the left heel come up. If you're leaning too far forward, the left heel is going to come up. Sit back into that heel. You might feel like you're teetering and you're almost out of balance. That's okay. 3, 2, we've got 1 more set of 10. We're going to turn out, external rotation. Your weight is over that leg. My right leg that's turning out is just toe touched for balance. 5 more. My full flat foot is going to the ground. 2 more. Here's the last one. And then walk it out. Very good. It's warm. I'm warm. You're warm. Okay, water if you want. We got 1 more set of the dowel rows. Grab your dowel, grab your bands. Again, if you don't have a dowel, you're just palm down, wide hands. The dowel just helps you maintain that pretty consistently. Okay, left foot forward, right foot back. Step back a little more than your first 2 sets and pull and release. Squeeze those blades, release. Don't rock the torso. Drive the sternum forward as you pull those elbows back. Hold that top position now. Hold that squeeze position. Push your sternum forward. Pull those elbows back. Pull the shoulders down. Squeeze those blades. 5 seconds. Can you squeeze the blades a bit more? Mine had more squeeze to go and I didn't even know it. Release. Switch feet. Pull. Release. Squeeze those blades. Sometimes I notice I'm doing the forward and back action, but when I get back there, I actually have more squeeze to the center than I even knew. Okay, hold that back. Now pinch those blades. You're gonna get another little bit out of that. Pinch those blades, push the sternum forward. Elbows high, shoulders down, pinch those blades. Release, alternate legs. 5 and 5. Don't rocket the torso. It's almost like I'm keeping my torso steady in one place. I'm moving those blades forward and back on that steady torso. You should feel a burn in your upper back, like between the blades. Okay, come forward and let that go and breathe. Good job. Okay, grab your dowel. We're gonna do a shoulder stretch. This is called external rotation. I'm gonna put the dowel in the right hand. I'm gonna bring it behind me. Take my left hand in front of me and grab the dowel. Now I'm gonna bring my elbow wide to the side, like end level with my shoulder. Here's a little also detail. Do you see how bent my elbow is? It's actually better if I have more of a sort of a 90-degree angle somewhat in the elbow. Then I'm going to pull the bottom part of the dowel forward, and that's rotating that arm bone, and then release. It's called external rotation. So one of the things I've been teaching you guys is that with a lot of the people I see, some of the common denominators that I see is that we need to increase and improve that external rotation in the shoulder. And then at the hip, it's the opposite. I need to increase and improve internal rotation at the hip. One more time, I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold for 5. I'm dropping my shoulders. Is my head back over the spine? 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. Okay, circle that shoulder. That was really good. We've been doing this dowel stretch for a month or 2 with you guys, and it's getting better. Okay, left hand has the lower part of the dowel. I'm gonna bring it behind me, take my right hand across, lower end of the dowel. Now, let's bring the angle of that elbow to a little bit more 90. I'm gonna bring my elbow wide and lateral of my shoulder down at level, drop my shoulder down. I don't wanna hike it up. And then I'm gonna rotate. Good. Now the 2 sides with a lot of people are gonna be different. I see the 2 sides being different. And that can be for a lot of reasons, like you really use your dominant arm and you don't use your non-dominant arm. It can be the sitting position that you're in. Often, like if you drive and you're sort of sitting on that shoulder, it can be your sleeping position, sleeping on that arm. So it really changes how those tissues pull the bones and make the bones, make the joints sort of sit. Okay, I'm gonna hold that, drop my shoulders, slide my head back, hold that position, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then let that go. Nice work. Okay, let's move on. Let me grab my notes. We're going on to another circuit. You're going to need dumbbells for dumbbell deadlifts. So your dumbbell deadlift is going to be probably about a 10-pounder for both of the people I see here. We're gonna go, then we're gonna be laying either on the floor, on your yoga ball, or on your inflatable tube. I'm gonna use a bench today as my where I'm gonna lay. And we're gonna need dumbbells that are gonna be for your skull crushers, your overhead press. The dumbbells for the second exercise is gonna be probably lighter than the dumbbell deadlifts. And then we're gonna be, last thing we're gonna need is your mat and something that you can hold on to. So for example, we're gonna be laying on the back and we're gonna hold on overhead to the corner of the bed, to the side of the couch, to a bedpost, something like that. Okay, let's get started. dumbbell deadlifts. I'm using 15s today. This is light for this exercise, but it's okay for the first one to be light. My feet are medium stance. I'm going to come forward and I'm going to T-bone. That means put your dumbbell perpendicular to the toes and then come back up. Come down, come back up. Notice how I'm sitting my butt way back and I'm counterbalancing where the dumbbells are. I'm specifically pausing at the bottom. I'm specifically pausing at the bottom, and I'm not just resting my torso on my thighs. I'm actually pushing. Let's stop at the bottom. Push your feet through the floor. You're going to feel your legs flex, your butt flexes. Come back up. Let's go for 8. Are you pushing equally through both feet? I can easily end up on my right foot, my dominant leg, and then not even notice it for many reps. At the top, I'm bringing my shoulders back on purpose. 4, no bouncing. Don't bounce out of the floor. That's not safe for any of your parts. And we go unconscious when we do that. And I don't want you being unconscious in any of your lifting. Okay, come on out of that. Breathe. Feet medium, shoulders down and back. Slide that neck way back, more than what's good posture. Over-exaggerate that. We're stretching the back of the neck and the shoulders. Relax. Head goes side. Head goes side. So it's very important to me that I continually teach and encourage you as a lifter not to go unconscious, to stay as conscious. Stay to the side, go forward and back with your head, and connected. Stay as conscious and connected with what you're doing, with your muscle flexing and activating as you possibly can. The benefits to that, switch sides, are that you're going to get a lot better results. You get more work done in the same amount of time. Your muscles are going to be more firm. And then in addition to that, it's a lot safer. Your technique is going to be better. It's going to be easier on your joints. Okay, come on out of that. Put that down. Grab maybe a little bit lighter weight. Perhaps it's 5s, perhaps it's 8s. We're going to do the lying tricep dumbbell extension. We also call those skull crushers. Now, but I'm going to do it and I'm going to add some other things that make it a little bit harder. Now, my hands are over the shoulders. I'm bending at the elbow and straightening. This is the basic exercise. You see this one done at a gym, usually with a barbell. So I could emulate that really easy with very little equipment by just turning my palms palm up. You know, that's really the same thing. Let's turn to palm facing each other for now. Now, some different little details here. At the bottom of the exercise, everybody stop. Drive your rib cage down into the floor. When you do that, what do you feel? Your belly, your abs will activate, and it makes it harder on the triceps. Come back up. Go to the bottom, pause, drive that rib cage down. Take your left arm, reach it overhead, bring it back down. Right arm overhead. Now, when you first start this, if you're new to this, or it's the first few reps of the day, don't go very long in your overhead press. Maybe just go a few inches. Check out that range, because this one is very difficult. I know when I first started doing this one, if I went all the way up, I could sort of strain the muscles between my blades. Okay, is your rib cage still down? Did you maintain that? Your belly is working for you if your rib cage is down. Stop and go up and down with both. I'm just gonna take this until the arms are really burning. Now, another little detail. Don't bounce out of the hole. The hole is the bottom part of the exercise. Don't bounce out of the hole. You're bouncing out of your elbows. Not great for your elbows, and it's not as hard. You're not going to get as good results. And 5. Good. They're burning. 2 more. Here's the last one. Where's your rib cage? Stay at the bottom. Right arm overhead, left arm overhead. Really steady, really distinct, very mechanical. I'm moving mechanically. I'm stopping and starting. I'm not bouncing out of the ends of the ranges. Come on up, bring the dumbbells down and come on up. Very good. Okay, shake it out. Now, if you're on the floor, stay on the floor. Legs are forward, hands are behind you, fingers and tips are facing back, and rock right to left. Just like that. So when you do this one, go ahead and when you go to the side, allow this girdle to come up. And then same thing, this whole structure, your shoulder girdle, your collarbone, your shoulder blade, and your arm bone, that's the shoulder girdle. That should rise up towards your ear. And then what that's going to do is that really stretches this front shoulder. That front shoulder for people is bicep. It's partly bicep and deltoid, and that's really tight for a lot of people. It's very tight for me. So when we drive over to the side and we allow this to go up, it pushes the arm bone into all these tissues and it juices up that tissue. Okay, come on up. Let's get some water. We're going to go to the lying on the back, or I can also call that supine hip raise. I'm lying on my mat, my pad, and then I'm going to hold on to something over my head. Now, for some people, this doesn't work. It bothers their lower back. It bothers their upper back. You can just go into a hip tuck here, which is rounding and releasing the pelvis. If you can hold on, hold on. Some people like straight arms here. Some people like a little bit of bend. You choose. My legs are going to be above my hips. Try not to bring them above your face. We're going to go up and down slowly. Now, if that's bothering the tissue between your shoulder blades or your neck too much, bend your arms a little bit more. Another way to make this easier is bend the knees completely. Bend the knees completely. It's not much easier. And then another way to make it a little easier is bring the feet over your face more. If you want to make it harder, you bring the feet right over the hips, or you bring your feet slightly forward of the hips, as well as go slow on the way up and very slow on the way down. Drive the belly button in, drive the belly button in. That makes it so much harder. For me to talk and do all that at once, it's really hard, but it really makes the difference. Okay, 5, a little bit faster, and 4, and 3, and 2. Here's the last one. Bring the feet down, let the arms go. Let's go, angel in the snow arms. Breathe, 5 seconds. Okay, go back in again. We're going to go right foot leads, then left foot leads. I'm rotating my pelvis, rotating the pelvis. Try to keep the feet over the hips. You can also do this with bent knees. If you're doing a hip tuck, this is the one where one hip goes up, other hip goes up. Last one on each side. And come on down and let the arms go. Go ahead and turn to the side, come on up. Cross your ankles and reach forward. And rock right and rock left. Let your head fall. Lulling your head and your shoulders right and left. Relax. Be heavy. Now turn to the right diagonal and rock laterally. So all these little flushes we do in between the exercises, they're a really big, important, significant, and unique part of what we teach here at Thrive. It's part of what we've developed over many years to help people not only re-educate their body, to educate out of injuries and malfunction, but also just it's easier, it feels good, and it reduces the soreness. It also increases health because it's renewing resources. A healthy tissue is a tissue that is less toxic and more resource. So when you pull the resources in, it pushes the toxins and metabolic waste out. It pushes those acids out. Okay, let's go ahead and sit back. Walk your feet wide. We're going to take a second to do an internal rotation stretch on the hips. My feet are wide. My feet are parallel. They're not turned out. I'm going to drop my right knee in and just feel what that feels like. Notice how far it goes. You don't have to force it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this other foot and I'm gonna push through the floor on that other foot, and I'm gonna rock laterally. So my pelvis is rocking like this. And what that's serving to do is that's internally rotating this hip socket. So it's teaching those tissues to allow internal rotation. Now do this with caution and consideration. Do it with mindfulness. Again, we're not just throwing and bouncing because you've got that hip in a pretty disadvantageous position if you wanted to pull the chicken leg off the carcass. That's sort of what it feels like. Stop, slowly let that out. You could hurt yourself. In other words, you can hurt yourself if you go too far. Also, you might notice that this is different on both sides. You might notice that the inside of that knee is loud. If the inside of that knee is loud, it's probably because the hip isn't internal rotation at it's not doing it so much at the hip. And so the knee is tight there. Okay, relax, come on out of it, go back in with the first leg. Now I'm gonna rock forward and back. I'm sort of spilling my pelvis forward and tucking it back. So we're just moving the pelvis in different dimensions as I have my bones fixed. Now, before I take my knee out, I relax, then I switch. Drop the knee in, and I'm gonna rock forward and back. My two sides definitely feel different. I feel a little more knee on one side because that hip doesn't rotate as easily. So my knee is forced to do more rotation. Okay, slow, relax, come on out of it, drop the first one in. Here's another way we get to increase it. You're gonna take that other leg and you're gonna slowly fold it towards the down thigh. Release, fold it, and you're listening, how far is my body willing to go? Now for me, I feel both hips when I do this one. I also feel a little bit of the inside of the knee, just because my hip is tight. Okay, relax, take the first leg out, drop the second leg in, and I'm gonna fold that leg to the thigh. Gently, considerately, listening mindfully. Where am I willing to go? You don't wanna force it. There's no need for that. Okay, come on out of that. Let's come on up. Actually, stay there for a second. Let's just take advantage of this. Let's do a little bit of a hamstring stretch. I've got a foot between my feet. My hands are down. I'm gonna reach across and then come back and reach across. Now, I'm teaching you on purpose that one hand is down. There's a reason for that. The reason why I want that is I want your torso to have some support. That hand is supporting the weight of the torso. This way, the hamstring realizes, okay, the torso is supported. I can just do one job at a time, which is allow myself to lengthen. If you don't support the torso, your hamstrings are trying to help you support the torso. So that's one reason why when we're doing stretching, one of the reasons why I like to have you holding on and bearing your body weight. Every time I go forward, I'm going a little farther. I'm bending my torso towards my thighs. Hold the next one. Now take your face, look down as far as you can, and then look up as far as you can. Look down to your complete range, look up. When you look down, you're tucking your chin and look up. One more time, stay looking down, turn your face right and left. This one just feels so good. Your toes should be pointed upwards, not turned out. Come on up, switch sides, and then hold, look down in complete range, and look up. For me, I get this a lot in my rib cage when I look down. When it's really early, I might get it at my sacrum. But any place between the head and the heels on the back of the body is fair game here. Stay looking down, turn your face right, turn your face left. Okay, we're gonna take it one more. I'm gonna take one hand down, my other hand across. Now, if you can't reach the foot, you reach the leg someplace. I'm gonna push with my down arm and pull with my forward arm and rotate the torso. It doesn't matter if you can only rotate a millimeter. You just create some motion. The reason why we create the motion is to activate the pump of fluids and resources. I switch sides. So the motion is the pump that pushes the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. Okay, very good. Let's get some water. Let's move on. We're back to dumbbell deadlifts. Take your time. Now, if you are in the phase in your workout life that you want to build strength and build muscle, remember, muscle is the part of the body that burns fat. Then you are going to go up in weight here, okay? If you're in part of the phase of your life right now, if you're in a period, we call it periodization, that you need to have recovery and we're moving just to get slow, you're not straining, then stay with this weight. Okay, feet are medium stance, a little bit wider. I'm gonna come on down, T-bone my toes, come back up, shoulders back. Let's go for 14 more, we're doing 15. I'm pushing my feet through the floor. I'm not bouncing out of the hole. As I come up, I'm sort of pushing my feet slightly apart. Your balls of your feet should be pushed into the floor. Your heels should be pushed into the floor. I know that's a lot to think about. One of the things that I think is so amazing about weightlifting, especially when you do it in this way I'm teaching, is that it's a mindfulness practice. It teaches your mind to stay on track and focus. It's a type of meditation. I'm gonna go 5 more because of course I don't know where I'm at in the count. 3, my little mind can't do all that thinking, breathing, feeling the pain, and instructing all at once. One more time. But I'm just going by feel. Breathe, move it around. Now I'm gonna take my shoulders down and back, slide my head way back, exaggerate that head, tuck the chin. We're stretching the muscles at the base of the skull and the back of the neck. Relax a little bit. So I'm not going as exaggerated. Head goes side, head goes side. When I go side to side with my head, I'm checking, is my head back over the spine? I don't want your head to be shifted forward like we see in bad posture. Stay on one side, very carefully, rotate your skull up and down. Check with just very small range at first. The rotation up is much harder because the way your cervical spine is arranged, it does not rotate as much when it's bent like that. So you want to be careful and listen. Never throw, switch sides. So when I do my first rep, I'm just doing like an inch. And then if it is okay with that, then I'll go a little farther. If it's not okay with that, I will stay there. Or maybe I change my form a little bit in other parts of my body. Come back to the center, put those down, get a little bit lighter weight. We're going to go back to those triceps. We're lying down on the floor, on a ball, on a yoga ball, on an inflatable roll, on a bench. All of that works. We're starting off with our lying dumbbell extensions. We also call those full pressures, down and up. So I'm going to change this just slightly. Let's start off here. Let's get these a little fatigued. Let's get these juiced up. Okay, 5 more. Now, I'm going to have you stop in 2. One more time. Stop at the bottom now. Stop at the bottom. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to tighten your biceps. Tighten those biceps. That's going to tighten those triceps. Keep them tight. This is an isometric. Where's your rib cage? Can you drive your rib cage down? That's going to activate your belly. Tighten those triceps. Both arms go up 2 inches overhead and then down 4 inches. Up 4 inches, down 4 inches. The ends of your dumbbells are parallel to the floor. Now go a little farther if your body's willing or not. You listen to your body. If you're feeling strained at the muscles between your blades, don't go higher. Now, if you are a veteran and you know that you can go to almost a straight arm. Notice that my dumbbells are staying parallel to the floor. The ends aren't tipping. It's like I think about like a helicopter. A helicopter skips, stay parallel to the ground, hopefully. Keep the end of the dumbbell parallel to the ground. It's hard to do that. 5, where is your rib cage? Drive that rib cage down. 3, good. And 2, I'm moving very mechanically. I'm not throwing it. Last one, we got 10 more up and down, gals. 10 more up and down. Move with control. We got Darby in the picture here. Wow, Darby, so sweet. Okay, I'm gonna go 5 more. Keep those elbows pointing up to the ceiling. Don't let the elbows go too wide. 3 and 2. Here's the last one and 1. Okay, come on up. I'll be right with you. Good. Put those down. If you're on the floor, that's okay. Stay on the floor. Take your hands behind you, fingertips facing back. If you're on the bench, scoot your buns forward. I'm allowing my shoulder blades to come up. Shift right, shift left, just like that. Breathing, allow your breathing to recover. This is also a bicep stretch a little bit. Good. When I get to the side, I'm leaning into that side, pushing my hand down. It's a forearm, elbow, wrist stretch as well as shoulder girdle. Okay, stop there, circle your shoulders, and you guys are complete. That was a great job. We had so much that we covered, and I still have, wish I had more time with you. What if I made this an hour? That would be crazy. Just kidding. I won't do that. Okay. See you guys later. Thank you.